May 17th, 2 Chronicles 25, 26, and 27. 2 Chronicles 25. Amaziah was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And the name of his mother was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the eyes of Yah, but not with a perfect heart. And it came to be, upon his strong control of the reign, that he killed his servants who had struck his father the sovereign. But he did not put their children to death, but did as it is written in the book of the Torah of Moshe, where Yah commanded, fathers are not put to death for their children, and children are not put to death for their fathers, but each one has to die for his own sin. And Amaziah gathered Judah, and set over them commanders of thousands, and commanders of hundreds, according to the fathers' houses, for all Judah and Benjamin. And he registered them from 20 years old and above, and found them to be 300,000 choice men going out to the army, handling spear and shield. And he hired 100,000 mighty brave ones from Israel for 100 talents of silver. But a man of Elohim came to him, saying, O sovereign, do not let the army of Israel go with you, for Yah is not with Israel, with all the children of Ephraim. But if you are going, do it. Be strong in battle, else Elohim would make you fall before the enemy, for Elohim has power to help and to overthrow. And Amaziah said to the man of Elohim, But what do we do about the 100 talents, which I have given to the army of Israel? And the man of Elohim answered, Yah has more to give you than this. So Amaziah dismissed the army that had come to him from Ephraim, to go back home. And they were greatly enraged against Judah, and they returned home in a rage. And Amaziah strengthened himself, and led his people, and went to the valley of Salt, and struck 10,000 of the sons of Seir. And the sons of Judah took captive another 10,000 alive, and they brought them to the top of the rock, and threw them down from the top of the rock, and all of them were dashed to pieces. And the soldiers of the army, which Amaziah had sent back from going with him to battle, they raided the cities of Judah from Shamaron to Beth-horon, and struck 3,000 in them, and took much spoil. And it came to be, after Amaziah came back from striking the Edomites, that he brought the mighty ones of the people of Seir, and set them up to be his mighty ones, and bowed down before them, and burned incense to them. Therefore the displeasure of Yah burned against Amaziah, and he sent him a prophet, who said to him, Why have you sought the mighty ones of the people, which did not deliver their own people from your hand? And it came to be, as he talked with him, that the sovereign said to him, Have we appointed you counselor to the sovereign? Stop. Why should they strike you? Then the prophet stopped and said, I know that Elohim has counseled to destroy you, because you have done this, and you have not listened to my counsel. And Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, took counsel, and sent to Joash, son of Joaz, son of Jehu, sovereign of Israel, saying, Come, let us look each other in the face. And Joash, sovereign of Israel, sent to Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give your daughter to my son as wife. And a wild beast that was in Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistle. You have said, See, I have stricken Edom, and your heart has lifted you up to boast. Now stay at home. Why should you stir up yourself to evil, that you should fall, you and Judah with you? But Amaziah did not listen, for it came from Elohim, in order to give them into the hand of their enemies, because they had sought the mighty ones of Edom. So Joash, sovereign of Israel, went out. He and Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, faced one another at Beth Shemesh, which belongs to Judah. And Judah was smitten before Israel, and they each fled to his tent. And Joash, the sovereign of Israel, caught Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, son of Joash, son of Joaz, at Beth-shemesh, and brought him to Jerusalem, and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits, and took all the gold and the silver, and all the utensils that were found in the house of Elohim, with Obed-Edom, and the treasures of the sovereign's house, and hostages, and returned to Shamaron. And Amaziah, son of Joash, sovereign of Judah, lived 15 years after the death of Joash, son of Joaz, sovereign of Israel. And the rest of the acts of Amaziah, from the first to the last, see, are they not written in the book of the sovereigns of Judah and Israel? And from the time that Amaziah turned away from following Yah, they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. And they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there. And they brought him on horses and buried him with his fathers in the city of Judah. 2 Chronicles 26. And all the people of Judah took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and set him up to reign instead of his father Amaziah. He built Eloth and restored it to Judah, after the sovereign slept with his fathers. Uzziah was 16 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Yecholiah of Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the eyes of Yah, according to all that his father Amaziah did. And he sought Elohim in the days of Zechariah, who had understanding in the visions of Elohim. And while he sought Yah, Elohim made him prosper. And he went out and fought against the Philistines, and broke down the wall of Gath, and the wall of Yibneh, and the wall of Ashdod, and built cities around Ashdod, and among the Philistines. And Elohim helped him against the Philistines, and against the Arabians who lived in Gur, Baal, and the Meunites. And the Ammonites gave gifts to Uzziah, and his name spread as far as the entrance of Egypt, for he strengthened himself greatly. And Uzziah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate, and at the valley gate, and at the corner buttress, and strengthened them. And he built towers in the wilderness, and dug many wells, for he had much livestock, both in the low country and in the plain, farmers and vine dressers in the mountains and in Carmel, for he loved the soil. And Uzziah had an army of fighting men who went out to battle by divisions, according to the number on their roll as prepared by Yael the scribe, and Maaseyahu the officer, under the hand of Hananiah, one of the sovereign's commanders. The total number of the clan chiefs of the mighty brave ones was 2,600. And under their hand was an army of 370,500 that fought with mighty power to help the sovereign against the enemy. And Uzziah prepared for them, for the entire army, shields and spears and helmets and body armor and bows and sling stones. And he made machines in Jerusalem, devised by skilled men, to be on the towers and the corners to shoot arrows and large stones. And his name spread far and wide, for he was marvelously helped till he became strong. But when he became strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction, for he trespassed against Yah his Elohim by entering the Hekal of Yah to burn incense on the slaughter place of incense. And Azariah the priest went in after him, and with him were 80 priests of Yah, who were brave men. And they stood up against sovereign Uzziah and said to him, "It is not for you, Uzziah, to burn incense to Yah, but for the priests, the sons of Aharon, who are set apart to burn incense. Get out of the set-apart place where you have trespassed, and there is no esteem to you from Yah Elohim." And Uzziah was wroth, and he had a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he was wroth with the priests, leprosy broke out on his forehead before the priests in the house of Yah, beside the incense slaughter place. And Azariah, the chief priest, and all the priests looked at him, and saw that he was leprous on his forehead, and they hurried him from there. And he also hurried to get out, because Yah had struck him. And sovereign Uzziah was a leper until the day of his death, and dwelt in a separate house, because he was a leper, for he was cut off from the house of Yah. And Jotham, his son, was sovereign over. And Jotham, his son, was over the sovereign's house, ruling the people of the land. And the rest of the acts of Uzziah, from the first to the last, the prophet Yeshayahu, the son of Amoz, wrote. So Uzziah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the field of the burial place, which belonged to the sovereigns, for they said, he is a leper. And Jotham, his son, reigned in his place. 2 Chronicles 27. Jotham was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Yerusha, daughter of Tzadok. And he did what was right in the eyes of Yah, according to all that his father Uzziah had done, only he did not come into the hekel of Yah. And the people continued to act corruptly. He built the upper gate of the house of Yah, and he built much on the wall of Ophel. And he built cities in the hill country of Judah, and in the forests he built palaces and towers. And he fought with the sovereign of the Ammonites, and had strong victory over them. And the children of Ammon gave him in that 1 year 100 talents of silver, and 10,000 cores of wheat, and 10,000 of barley. This is what the children of Ammon paid him, also in the 2nd and 3rd years. And Jotham strengthened himself, for he prepared his ways before Yah, his Elohim. And the rest of the acts of Jotham, and all his battles, and his ways, see, they are written in the book of the sovereigns of Israel and Judah. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. So Jotham slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David, and his son Ahaz reigned in his place.